Alright, let's talk about polynomial division. Polynomial division is slightly more complicated than um, addition, subtraction, multiplication. But basic idea of polynomial division is very similar to actual division that we used to use when we are dividing numbers. For example, if we have to divide, say, 9 divided by 2. Well, we can put this into division format. So 9 is going to be divided by 2. Then we're going to put 4 here. That 4 is multiplied by 2. Put it right underneath. And we subtract. Then we get 1. Alright, so what do we call this 9 that we have to divide by 2? This is what we call dividend. Dividend. What do we call this number 2 that we are dividing 9 by? This is called divisor. Divisor. What do we call this result of division? 4 in this case. This is quotient. Quotient. What do we call this 1, the left behind? Remainder. Right, so same terminology that is going to be used in polynomial division. So let's do a example. We try to divide, let's say, 3x squared plus 2x. Well, let's say 3x cubed, 3x cubed, 2x squared, say minus 4x, plus 6. I'm going to divide this by, say, x plus 2. Putting in parentheses just to avoid any type of confusion. So I am going to put this into that polynomial division format. So this dividend is going to be placed right here, 3x to the cube plus 2x squared for x plus 6. It'll be divided by our divisor, which is x plus 2 in our case. Alright, so first thing that we are going to do, we're going to figure out a number that we're going to, what term that we're going to put it right here. That term is going to be multiplied to this x and 2 as well, and it will be placed right underneath of this term, and it has to be matched with this. So I'm trying to figure out the term that I'm going to multiply to x, and result should be 3x to the cube. So that term must be 3x squared, right? 3x squared. Then multiplied to x become 3x to the cube, right? That's what we wanted. We want this to be the same, this and this to be the same. And that term is also going to be multiplied to 2 and put it right here. So 3x squared times 2, which is what? Which is 6x squared. Alright, then what we're going to do, I'm going to put the parentheses, we're going to subtract. We're going to subtract this 2. Well, we're going to subtract this 2 from this. So, you know, if we get rid of this parentheses, it'll change that to minus, right? We checked it in our previous lecture, the polynomial the subtraction, right? So 3x to the cube minus 3x to the cube becomes 0. That's what we wanted. 2x squared minus 6x squared. So that must be negative 4x squared, like that, right? Now, once we do that, now we're going to extend this line, and we're going to bring this next term right here. So it'll be negative 4x, just like that. Now, we're going to continue doing the same pattern. We'll try to figure out this term that we're going to put it right here. Will be multiplied to x, placed right underneath of this, and that should match negative 4x squared. So what we need would be negative 4x, right? Because negative 4x times x, same thing as negative 4x squared. So multiply that to here. That'll be negative 4x squared, and negative 4x will be also multiplied to 2. Put it right here. That'll be negative 8x, just like that. Okay. Now, what do we do? We're going to do the same thing. We're going to subtract. All right. Then, when we subtract, this first term is going to be 0. That's what we wanted. And that negative will change this negative to plus. So we have negative 4 plus 8x. That's plus 4x. I'm going to extend this line a little bit further. And we're going to bring this term right here, which is plus 6, like this. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. I'm figuring out this next term. It must be 4, because when I multiply this 4 to x, it should match with this term. So that should be 4x, and that 4 is also going to be multiplied to 2. Put it right underneath, becomes 8, and I'm going to subtract again. Okay, so if we do that, this first term is just going to go 6 minus 8, so that must be negative 2. Then we stop, right? So we boil down to the number term, then we stop. So this is our dividend right here. This is our divisor, and that's our quotient, and this is our remainder. So let's put this into a proper answer form. So answer of this would be the quotient part, which is 3x to the square 4x plus 4. But this negative 2 yet to be divided by this. I'm going to, put it right here. I can put it right here, I guess. Plus negative 2. It's kind of hard to see. Yet to be divided by. Let me just move it a little bit this way. To be divided by x plus 2. Just like that. Right? I mean, you can put this negative in front right here, change that to negative, but if you leave it like that, that should be fine as well. A little bit. So that should be our final answer. I mean, if you leave it as this, then I don't think I'll take mark off, but this is the proper way of writing the actual answer. Okay, let's do another example. Right. Example. Let's say we're going to divide. This time it's slightly more challenging, I guess. Let's say we're going to divide 3x to the cube plus 4x squared plus x plus 7 by x squared plus 1. Okay, so we are going to put that into the long division format. This technique that I just showed you is called long division, so we're going to put that into long division format. So I'm going to put 3x to the cube plus 4x squared plus x plus 7. You know, another point that I like to make at this point, you see that this exponent of x, these are nice descending order. So we have x to the cube, square, and 1, and the number, right? Now let's say if we didn't have any one of those x terms. Let's say we didn't have this, for example, x to the fourth. I mean, 4x to the square. If we didn't have that in the original question, we should still leave some room here. Leave some empty room between x to the cube and x to the first power. Right? If we didn't have this term, we will still leave some room. You can put 0, you can just leave it out as an empty space. That will be divided by x squared plus 1. So I'm thinking of term that I'm going to put it right here, multiplied to x squared become 3x to the cube, so it must be 3x. Multiply that to here, put it right underneath, which is 3x to the cube. Now 3x is going to multiply to 1, but notice that I'm not going to put right underneath of this, because this is, when you multiply this to here, that would be 3x, not square, 3x. So I'm going to put the result, 3x, right underneath, same x term. So 3x gonna go there, right? Okay. Then what do? Subtract. So if we subtract, the first term is gonna go 4x squared minus, I guess, 0, there's nothing there, so it would be 4x squared, x minus 3x minus 2x, and we'll bring this guy down, so 7 right there. Okay, now we try to figure out the next term that I'm going to put it here. Multiplied to x squared become 4x squared. So that must be 4 then. 4 times x squared, 4x squared. 4 times 1, which is 4. But again, I'm not going to put it right here. I'm going to put the 4 underneath the same number term. So plus 4 goes right there. Then what do we do now? Subtract. So when we subtract this, it's going to be 0. Negative 2x just goes down, because this will be subtracted by nothing. 7 minus 4 becomes 3. Just like that. Okay. So this I can well, don't like that line. 3. This is the result. If I put the answer of this right about here, answer would be our quotient, which is 3x plus 4. But this remainder, which is negative 2x plus 3, yet to be divided by x squared plus 1. Now that's going to be our final answer. Right? That's going to be our final answer. All right. Let me give you one more example just to make sure that everyone understands this. Right, the example. Well, so this time we're going to divide x to the fourth minus 3x to the cube plus 2x negative 5. This divided by x squared minus x plus 1. Okay. Now, but it's a little bit longer, right? But we're going to use the exact same format that we used. So x to the fourth plus negative 3x to the cube. Now, we're supposed to have x to the square term, which we are going to put it here, but as we can see, we do not have x to the square term. Like I mentioned in the previous case, if there's a missing term in x squared that we missed, then we're going to leave some space and then plus 2x negative 5, like this. I'm going to put the rest in here, but we're going to leave some room for x squared term. That will be divided by x squared negative x plus 1. Okay. It's kind of a little too close. Plus 1. Okay. So x squared, I'm going to put it here, multiplied to x squared become x to the fourth, right? Now that will be multiplied to here becomes negative x to the cube. And that will be multiplied to here becomes plus x squared. Notice that we have empty space right there. Now what do? We subtract. First term has to be cancelled, right? So it becomes 0, same term. Negative 3x to the cube, negative, so that negative become now positive. So it'll be negative 2x to the cube. Then negative will change this sign, so it'll be negative x squared. Then what do we do with this? I'm going to bring this one down. It'll be plus 2x. Just like that. All right. I'm going to try to figure out the next term that I'm going to put it right here. Multiply to x squared become negative 2x to the cube. So what would that be? That should be negative 2x. That's right, negative 2x. So negative 2x times x squared becomes negative 2x to the cube. Negative 2x times negative x becomes positive x. Oh, forgot the 2. Okay, go back to the cube. So positive 2x to the square, negative 2x times 1, negative 2x. All right, now what do? Same thing. I'm going to subtract. Parentheses, subtract. First term is going to go negative x squared, negative 2x. That would be negative 3x to the square, 2x. Now that becomes positive, so that becomes positive 4x. Now what do we do with this? We're going to bring this 5 down right there. So it'll be negative 5. Okay. Now I'm going to try to figure out this term. that must be negative 3, right? So then multiply that here, x squared, match with this, so negative 3x squared. Negative 3 times negative x become positive 3x. Negative 3 times positive 1, negative 3. A little bit up. Okay. Again, I'm going to subtract. First terms go. 4x minus 3x, x, negative 5 plus 3. Now that becomes plus, right? Because that minus will change that to plus. So it'll be negative 2. That should be our remainder, right? All right, so these are our solution. So how do we write the answer? Well, our answer should be the quotient part, which is x squared minus 2x negative 3, but this remainder plus this remainder x minus 2 yet to be divided by our divisor, x squared minus x plus 1. So that should be our final answer for this question. Okay.